We were just arguing. She slipped. I didn't mean for any of this to happen.
The sound of a shoe slamming into a human body echoed through the underground parking lot before anyone had time to understand what was happening, and the woman hit the concrete floor hard, her groceries exploding around her like a life that had just been shattered. She raised her hands instinctively, not to fight back, but to protect her face, because she already knew resistance only made him angrier. Her husband stood over her, his jaw tight with rage, his breath heavy, his voice sharp as he shouted words meant to crush her spirit more than his kicks crushed her ribs. In that moment, fear wasn't loud, it was quiet, settling deep into her chest as she wondered if this was finally the day she wouldn't get back up. Another kick came, harder than the last, and she cried out, her voice trembling as she begged him to stop, reminding him that people could see that this wasn't who he used to be. But violence doesn't listen to memories or promises. The parking lot felt endless and empty, every parked car a silent witness, every second stretching painfully long as he lifted his foot again. That was when a different sound cut through the chaos, sharp boots pounding against concrete, followed by the low, controlled growl of a German shepherd trained not to hesitate. The man froze mid-movement because fear recognizes authority when it hears it. A Navy SEAL, still carrying himself with the discipline of years in combat, moved forward with calm intensity, his eyes locked on the abuser, his presence alone enough to change the air in the room. His dog stayed perfectly aligned at his side, muscles tense, eyes focused, ready but restrained. "Step away from her," the SEAL said, his voice steady, not loud, not threatening, but absolute, the kind of voice that had stopped violence in places far worse than this parking garage. The husband laughed nervously, trying to explain, trying to twist the story, but excuses collapse quickly when faced with truth. One step toward the woman, and the dog surged forward just enough to make the warning clear without a single bite. The SEAL knelt beside the woman instead, placing his jacket over her shaking shoulders, speaking softly now, reminding her to breathe, reminding her that she was safe, that what happened was not her fault, and that help had arrived. Tears streamed down her face, not just from pain, but from the shock of being seen, defended, and protected by a stranger when the person who promised to love her had become her danger. Security arrived, then police, and the husband's anger finally turned into panic as handcuffs closed around his wrists. As he was led away, the woman watched silently, realizing that this moment was not the end of her story, but the beginning of a life where fear no longer controlled every step. Later, as paramedics checked her injuries, the SEAL stood at a distance, his dog sitting calmly beside him. And before he left, he looked back and said something she would carry forever. "Surviving doesn't make you weak, it proves how strong you already are." And in that cold parking lot, surrounded by broken groceries and broken trust, a woman found the courage to believe him.